The flipped classroom is an instructional model that's gained a lot of attention in recent years. And I've recently been sharing an experiment from my own community college art history classroom that embraced the flip model. And this slide illustrates how I went ahead with flipping my classroom. I thought about that classroom time with my students as part of a learning continuum that begins before class and extends after class. And by doing this, it allowed me to theorize a method, which is very common with the flipped classroom, to embrace video technology to capture my lectures that were broken down into segments of about 20 minutes and share them with my students before class. But when I did so, I also shared them in PDF so the students had an option to read or listen or do both. And then before the students came to class, they completed formative assessments in a Voicethread activity, a participatory online Voicethread activity that I created that was aligned with learning objectives. In class, I was able to facilitate a review of that Voicethread and engage students on a very personal level, point out excellent contributions, and dig into areas that we really needed to tease out further. Class time was also spent engaging in analysis of different images supporting our curriculum. After class, the students would then proceed to complete a formative assessment in Voicethread again, a second assessment for the same unit. After several units that looked like this, students would complete a summative assessment in class. Again, the flipped classroom model hinges upon taking the classroom time that is traditionally spent lecturing, particularly in college, and shifting that content, that lecture content, into a mobile format. And again, I really advocate and support the idea of supplementing that video with the written content. So it not only provides students a different method of accessing the content, but it supports students who don't have the capability to actually listen to and view a video. Voicethread is a participatory learning environment, and this is a screenshot of one of our formative assessments where students were asked to compare and contrast an image. This would have been a post-class Voicethread, kind of moving up into the higher order thinking skills. And they also would have been images that they already saw in the classroom. So again, we're scaffolding that learning and is giving students an opportunity to really kind of polish the skills that they're picking up throughout the pre-class, the in-class, and the post-class learning experience. But something else about Voicethread that a lot of people don't know is that you can actually use it to create movies. In fact, the movie that you're watching right now is one that I created entirely with Voicethread's export feature. So I recorded all my comments in a single comment, clicking through my slides, and then I exported it using the Voicethread export feature, and I uploaded that movie file into YouTube. But in addition to Voicethread, I certainly found a need for different types of learning activities. I had to come up with new ideas that would keep my class participatory. And one of them that I devised was what I called the Wiki Challenge. And this was an activity that was fun and also competitive. And it consisted of me identifying a student contestant that took ownership of one artist we were covering. And that student would work with the class for a short period of time to brainstorm significant contributions that that artist made to the history of art. That brainstorming period in class was shared back with the entire class, and it gave me an opportunity to share additional input. But then after class, that student was responsible for entering our wiki, accessing our wiki, and locating the page, the placeholder I had created for them, and populating, summarizing that information on that page about the artist. And then in the next class, the contestant would present the information back to the class, and if that presentation received a thumbs up from me and the rest of the class, then they would receive 10 points of extra credit. And this was actually devised as a method to support students who had missed some of our Voicethread activities because those could not be made up. The students really liked this, and the competitive edge actually made it very fun. And then what I did with that wiki content, as it started to collect and become more robust over the weeks, I leveraged it to actually create the questions on our summative assessments. So the students were working together to construct the knowledge and the information that they would be assessed on at the end of the term. I have a pretty thorough student feedback survey that I've shared in numerous places, but one of the things that I'm most proud of is the effect on success and retention that I saw with this experiment. There was a 10% increase in student success and a 12% increase in retention when I compared this flip model to my traditional lecture model teaching this same class. If you'd like to connect with me or if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at teachingwithoutwalls.com.